Hello, Hallyu fans from all over the world. Welcome to Dajack's Trilogy, The Way Hallyu to Go. Part 1, No Numsa War. I'm Dajack, Hallyu missionary. Episode 1 to 5 series is dealing with the values in surface structure of Christianity and Confucianism. And in the last class, episode from 1 to 5 to 1 to 1 to 5 to 3, we have talked about 4 songs, 4 dance, 7 songs, and 5 songs in Confucianism. So far, we have learned the surface values of Confucianism, but today we'll start on the values in surface structure of Christianity. In the episode 1 to 4 to 1, 1 to 4 to 2, we talked about that the values in deep structure of Christianity are filial piety and faith. Look at the bottom of the table, dark blue part. These deep values reveal as surface values love, justice, obedience, and commandment through the narrative words of Bible. So, what is the biblical basis for Christianity's surface values of love, justice, obedience, and commandments? Love. In Matthew chapter 22, verses 35 through 40, we find the following passages. One of them, a lawyer, in an attempt to trip him up, asked him, "Teacher, which commandment of the law is the greatest?" Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with your whole heart, with your whole soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments the whole law is based, and the prophets as well." The first commandment is love. The second, too. These words of Jesus are the biblical basis for the surface value of love. It confirms the reason why love is a surface value of Christianity. Justice. In Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25, there is a passage as follows. Our justice before the Lord our God is to consist in carefully observing all these commandments He has enjoined on us. Like this, justice is to do the Father's words, the commandments. Obedience. Obedience is a noun, a verb, obey. Obey is a combination word of prefix ob, meaning to, and root ey, meaning listen. So, obey is to listen, to follow as it were. In other words, it means listen to the words of God the Father and follow them. One of the most iconic biblical figures that comes to mind when we think of obedience is the Virgin Mary. Angel Gabriel says, "Rejoice, O highly favored daughter, the Lord is with you." Mary replied, "I'm the servant of the Lord. Let it be done to me as you say." Let it be done. This is just obedience. Commandment. Commandment is the command of the Lord the Father to keep and do. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 3, we find the following passage. It is only about the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden that God said, "You shall not eat it or even touch it, lest you die." This is the first commandment. Of course, Adam and Eve didn't follow the Father's command, so it has remained our original sin by now. When we think of commandments, the first thing that comes to mind is probably the Ten Commandments. The first, "You shall not have other gods besides me." The second, "You shall not carve idols for yourselves in the shape of anything in the sky above or on the earth below or in the waters beneath the earth. You shall not bow down before them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, inflicting punishments for their fathers' wickedness on the children of those who hate me, down to the third and fourth generation. The third, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain." The fourth, "Take care to keep holy the Sabbath day as the Lord your God commanded you." The fifth, "Honor your father and your mother as the Lord your God has commanded you." The sixth, "You shall not kill." The seventh, "You shall not commit adultery." The eighth, "You shall not steal." The ninth, "You shall not bear dishonest witness against your neighbor." The 10th, "You shall not covet your neighbor's wife." The surface values come from deep values through narrative structure. The surface values, love, justice, obedience, and commandments, come from the deep values, filial piety, and faith, through the narrative structure of the Bible. It means surface values, love, justice, obedience, and commandments are rooted in the deep values of filial piety and faith for the Father. Surface values, love, justice, obedience, and commandments are all made true by deep values, filial piety, and faith. Just as Confucianism's relationship between Hyo and Shin in deep structure and in 의, Ye, Ji in surface structure. So far, we've talked about surface values of Christianity. The original lecture plan was to end episode 1 to 5 with 1 to 5 to 4. But we have not gotten around to talking about analogy anti-subsurface values between Christianity and Confucianism yet, so we are going to extend the class for another week and end with 1 to 5 to 5. Stay tuned for the next episode 1 to 5 to 5. Thank you for your interest. Bye bye.